In the top stories, Minister Clark says extradition bill will strengthen St. Kitts and Nevis's response to cross-border crime. Regionally, Jamaica temporarily closes embassy in the Dominican Republic as government reviews funding arrangements. And on the international scene, 4 bodies recovered as search continues for missing climbers after Pakistan avalanche. Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Midday Major Newscast. Today is Friday, the 31st day of July, and I am Jasmine Thomas. First on the local scene. Senator the Honorable Dr. Joyelle Clark says the Extradition Amendment Bill 2026 will strengthen St. Christopher and Nevis's ability to respond to cross-border crime while maintaining constitutional safeguards. The bill was debated during the July 30th sitting of the National Assembly, where Senator Dr. Clark explained that the amendments are aimed at modernizing the Federation's legal framework and improving international cooperation. Senator Dr. Clark said the legislation will help St. Christopher and Nevis meet its international obligations while ensuring that extradition decisions remain under the authority of the courts. A young St. Kitts and Nevis coder, Zen Armani, is helping to inspire the next generation of technology leaders through a 2-day coding camp. The initiative introduced children to coding through creative projects and hands-on learning. Zai Hendrickson has more.
25 young people participated in a 2-day coding camp aimed at making technology more accessible as well as engaging. The camp was organized by Zen Harmony, who said the initiative created to show children that coding can be both educational as well as fun.
I started this camp because I just wanted to introduce coding to kids, but in a fun and creative way, a way that they'll understand, because a lot of times it's seen in a way that's boring. So I decided I was going to fund laptops, ask family members, friends, everything, all the above, for money, and told them why, I gave them a cause, and I was able to fund 10 laptops to do this coding camp.
During the camp, students were introduced to coding platforms, including Scratch and Code.org, where they learned the basics of programming and developed their own digital projects. One of the activities saw participants create a simple version of the popular Flappy Bird game, using coding concepts to control movement and gameplay. Harmony said the game was chosen because of its simplicity and because it provided an easy entry point for young learners to understand coding.
And I thought it would be perfect for smaller age kids because it's a simple game. It's just, up and down, dodging the pipes. Even though we did the simpler version of it, which is just up and down, and then 2 kids, I was able to add the gravity aspect. But mostly I chose it because I liked it as a kid, and it was just a simple game everyone could learn.
The camp was also held in collaboration with iSTEAM, the Institute of STEAM Education, Arts and Sciences. Founder and Executive Director Clelia Davis says the partnership will help build on skills introduced during the camp.
When it comes to the Zen's Way coding camp, actually Zen is my little cousin and he's quite a genius. And so he came up with this passion project of wanting to give back to St. Kitts and Nevis youth through technology and innovation. And so that is how this camp was birthed. And so through that collaboration, we were able to assist with the logistical, operational, human resource management from iSTEAM. And then that afforded us the opportunity to get some sponsorships from Zen and Zen's Way through the donation of 10 laptops, which is now going to be pivotal in the launch of our technology program.
The 10 laptops provided through the initiative will continue to support future technology programs at iSTEAM. Harmony says he plans to continue following the students' progress and their interest in coding after the camp.
Yes, I do actually. I'm very willing to I got to know a lot of the kids personally, and I talked to them. I talked to them about games that we shared and experiences with, and I'd like to know their coding experience in the future too.
Organizers say the 2-day camp provided students with an introduction to coding whilst encouraging them to explore technology, innovation, and future career opportunities in the digital space. They hope to build on the success of this initial camp with future technology-based programs for young people across St. Kitts and Nevis. Zai Hendrickson, ZIZ News.
Thank you, Zai. The Regional Integration and Diaspora Unit, also known as the RIDU, is highlighting its continued work to strengthen ties between St. Christopher and Nevis and its global diaspora community. During the latest edition of In Focus, officials spoke about the role of the unit, the Diaspora Heritage Emergence Program, and efforts to engage younger generations abroad. The RIDU serves as a point of connection for the government of St. Christopher and Nevis, regional organizations, and nationals living overseas. Diaspora Ambassador Her Excellency Dr. Christine Walwyn explained that the unit works to keep nationals abroad informed through initiatives such as the Diaspora Digest, a quarterly publication highlighting developments at home and activities within diaspora communities.
Well, the Diaspora Digest, as we dub it, it's a quarterly newsletter that we publish. And we try to highlight, every quarter we try to highlight an individual in the diaspora that's making significant stride in whatever fields that they may be in, renewable energy, a doctor, anything that we see is significant to St. Kitts and Nevis. We also take that opportunity to highlight projects that are presently ongoing in St. Kitts and Nevis. We have a theme every quarter. So if we have a theme, say sustainable energy, we will highlight the projects that the government are presently undertaking to promote sustainable energy. Also, we take that digest to promote our partners. RIDU has a strong base with the corporate world. They assist us greatly in a lot of our undertakings. So in the digest, we are able to put their logos in, their offerings, what it is they're offering to persons in and outside of St. Kitts and Nevis. We also take the opportunity to highlight activities that are going on in the different countries that our diaspora lives in, like in New York. If there's a picnic happening by a certain association, we would post a flyer. If there's a dance, if there's anything of significance that persons in those specific areas want to know about, it's in the digest. We also have a listing of all the diaspora associations from the US to Canada, the Caribbean, the UK. They're all posted there with their contact information. So the digest is virtually a link for all persons in the diaspora to St. Kitts and Nevis. You know, we highlight persons, we highlight the country, we highlight investments. You know, it's a plethora of information. Well,
officials also spoke about the importance of direct engagement with diaspora communities through town hall meetings and other outreach activities. The unit currently has more than 30 registered diaspora organizations across North America, the Caribbean, Europe, and other parts of the world. These organizations continue to support development efforts in St. Christopher and Nevis through various initiatives, including contributions to local community groups and national programs.
A lot of the association, of course, focusing on getting the people of St. Kitts and Nevis together, but also making commitment to back home. So we see that there's the St. Kitts and Nevis Association in Toronto, for example. Last year they were focused on getting money to send to the cancer associations here. I think this year they're doing on diabetes. So their gala this year for independence will be focused on raising funds to send to the Diabetic Association here in St. Kitts and Nevis. There's some organizations in New York who's committed directly to sourcing supplies and equipment to different organizations like the Diabetic Association. I know we receive a lot. There's associations in the UK who constantly send directly to the children's home. So they have main focus. And they actually exist to help back home.
A major focus of the unit's work is engaging younger members of the diaspora to ensure the continuity of these connections. The Diaspora Heritage Emergence Program, was recently held from July 18 to 25, bringing together 20 young people of St. Christopher and Nevis descent to learn more about their heritage, culture, and the governance system.
The reason for the program was not necessarily just to bring youth here to St. Kitts, to give them education and enjoyable time, but looking forward, looking in the future for the organization. That's why I keep tying back to the organizations, because the organization exists right now to keep the people of St. Kitts and Nevis together, to send information back home, etc. But we need to understand that when they move on, what happens? Who's going to take up the slack? Is the organization just going to go dormant because there's no one there who remember what St. Kitts and Nevis is like, etc.? So hence the program, we were trying to get some new ambassadors.
The program included exposure to both St. Kitts and Nevis as participants engaged with government officials, community leaders, and the cultural stakeholders. Ridu says the initiative is part of a long-term efforts to build stronger connections with the next generation of nationals living abroad. Officials say the continued engagement of the diaspora remains an important part of national development and the preservation of St. Christopher and Nevis's cultural identity around the world. When we come back, we bring you the regional news after this break.
It's that time again. Kittitian Superstar is back, and we are looking for our 2026 contestants. This year, there are more prizes and more surprises. If you think you've got what it takes to be our next superstar, just upload a video of yourself performing any song to your social media with the hashtag KSS2026, or you can WhatsApp that video to 668-4647. That's 668-4647. Submissions are open right now.
Welcome back. On the regional scene, Jamaica's embassy in Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic, will temporarily close effective August 1st as the government reviews its financing and administrative arrangements. Foreign Affairs Minister Senator the Honorable Kamina Johnson-Smith says the decision is not related to Jamaica's diplomatic, political, or trade relations with the Dominican Republic, but rather changes to the embassy's funding structure following reciprocal visa-free arrangements between both countries. Johnson-Smith explained that the embassy had previously relied on visa fee collections to support its operations, but the arrangements now require a review of the current financing model. She said the ministry will also examine the embassy's location and other administrative matters while continuing to support Jamaican consular needs through its honorary consul in Puerto Plata. The Foreign Affairs Minister stressed that the temporary closure does not signal any deterioration in relations between Jamaica and the Dominican Republic, as both countries continue to maintain diplomatic and trade ties. And the U.S. government's nominee to become ambassador to Trinidad and Tobago has raised concerns about the country's ongoing crime challenges, saying repeated states of emergency highlight the seriousness of the security situation. Jennifer Johnson Carroll made the comments during her confirmation hearing before the U.S. Senate Foreign Relations Committee, where lawmakers questioned her on security, government stability, and future U.S.-Caribbean relations. Johnson Carroll, who was born in Port of Spain, said if confirmed, she would prioritize strengthening security cooperation, expanding economic ties, and supporting energy partnerships between both countries. She also identified border security and declining energy production as key issues that could shape the relationship between the United States and Trinidad and Tobago. The nominee said she would seek further discussions with government officials and stakeholders if she is confirmed to the role. On the international scene, 4 bodies have been recovered during a search and rescue operation for 10 climbers who went missing after an avalanche on Broad Peak in Pakistan. Authorities say the search operation has been suspended due to weather conditions and is expected to resume. The avalanche struck Broad Peak, one of the world's highest mountains, located in the Pakistan-administered Gilgit-Baltistan region. Among those reported missing is renowned mountaineer Nirmal Persia, known for climbing the world's 14 highest peaks in just over 6 months in 2019. The Alpine Club of Pakistan has identified 2 of the deceased as Nahira Abdullah from Oman and Per Bahadur Gurung from Nepal. Authorities say search efforts will continue as they work to determine the status of the remaining climbers. And Hamas says it has agreed to a plan for the complete disarmament of the group and other armed factions in Gaza under a U.S.-brokered peace initiative. The announcement follows U.S. President Donald Trump's statement that the Board of Peace has reached an agreement after months of negotiations. The proposed plan forms part of the second phase of a Gaza ceasefire agreement and includes the disarmament of Hamas, the withdrawal of Israeli troops, and the reconstruction of Gaza. Senior Hamas official told the BBC that the group has agreed to the plan and that an official statement would be released soon. Israel has not yet commented on the agreement and has previously expressed skepticism about Hamas' willingness to disarm. U.S. officials say the process would include the inventorying and storage of heavy weapons under Palestinian supervision, with verification measures in place to ensure both sides fulfill their commitments. The Board of Peace says its focus has now shifted to implementing the agreement, which it says could mark a major step toward ending the conflict in Gaza. And now for a look at the weather. Cloudy skies with a slight dust haze are expected across St. Christopher and Nevis over the next 24 hours. Today will be partly sunny in general, with a 40% or moderate chance of a brief passing shower. Tonight will start partly cloudy before becoming increasingly cloudy, with an 80% or a very high chance of overnight showers and a moderate chance of isolated thunderstorms developing mainly after midnight. Temperatures will reach a high of 28 degrees Celsius or 82 degrees Fahrenheit with a humidity of 80%. Winds will be from the east at 12 to 21 miles per hour, reaching as high as 30 miles per hour, mainly over open waters and in elevated areas. Seas will range from 1.2 to 1.8 meters or 4 to 6 feet. Small craft operators should continue to exercise caution. Sunset today is expected to be at around 6:44, with sunrise tomorrow morning at around 10 minutes before 6. And that brings us to the end of the Midday Major Newscast. Join us this evening for these stories and more. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jasmine Thomas. God bless you.